15th of July. Good evening and welcome to the QTV News Desk. My name is Charity Senge. We'll take a look at the headlines. First Republican President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda has been admitted to the University Teaching Hospital UTH. Government has cautioned the media to be careful in its reporting during the period of the threatened state of public emergency. And a court in Thailand has found the former general guilty of human trafficking at a landmark trial in Bangkok. And now the news in detail. First Republican President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda has been admitted at the University Teaching Hospital UTH. Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya says Dr. Kaunda was admitted last evening around 20:30 hours. Dr. Chilufya has told journalists after Vice President Nongewina visited Dr. Kaunda this morning that the former president was admitted after complaining of minor body pains. He says routine checkups have since been conducted on the first Republican president and that no serious ailment has been detected. Dr. Chilufya says Dr. Kaunda is expected to be discharged tomorrow.
Excellency, the Acting President of the Republic of Zambia, Honorable Nongewina, came to visit the first Republican president, who we took in last night, basically with minor complaints. This is more of a routine investigation, routine medical checkup. Yeah, so we are routinely investigating, doing a routine medical checkup, and also managing the minor complaints, that he had. Overall, very stable, and we are ready to discharge him by tomorrow.
And speaking when she visited Dr. Kaunda, Vice President Nongewina said the nation is praying for the first Republican president to get well soon. And Dr. Kaunda's son, Dr. Waza Kaunda, has commended the UTH management for the care they have given the former president from the time he was admitted last night.
His Excellency, the former president, Dr. Kaunda, been taken to UTH just for routine checkup. And the doctors assure us that he will be out of hospital by tomorrow. Possibly this afternoon, but I would rather tomorrow so that he can rest, and we can only pray to God that he will, the Almighty will keep him for us, for this nation, for as long as it is possible. We give him, let me say that I think the prayers will keep him going.
Information and Broadcasting Services Minister Kampamba Mlenga has advised the media to be cautious on their reporting during the 90 days period of the threatened state of public emergency. Ms. Mlenga says the media ought to be professional in the manner they disseminate information. She says it is important that media houses, both public and private, to uphold accuracy in their reporting. She states that it is a duty of the media institutions to give the Zambian people balanced information to enable them make informed decisions. Ms. Mlenga has also called on the media to help government explain Article 31 by informing people that no freedom has been taken away from anyone, as some stakeholders are claiming.
So we are all expectant, whether from the private or the public media, that our role as practitioners in regard to media, we give out accurate information that borders on peace. We as colleagues in the media are very important. I always say this, especially to you, our colleagues, that this is the most important job of all time, because whether it's information, whether it is Ministry of Commerce, whether it is agriculture, we are the ones that are assigned to give out that information. So during this period, especially Article 31, and I want to emphasize, the invocation is not Article 30, but Article 31. And this is what we, the people in the media, must be emphasizing on. And I also want to stress a point. I know there have been some sectors that have come out to say, no, our freedoms have been limited. I'm sure the president made it very, very clear. And that is why we're here, because no one is being harassed. And this it should be commended actually by the Zambian people that the security has actually been beefed up. So once again, my emphasis to you, my colleagues in the media, can we be professional in how we disseminate information? We have one Zambia, and the people of Zambia are depending on you, my colleagues, to give out accurate information.
The Ministry of Agriculture says it is prepared to combat any armyworm outbreak in the next farming season. Permanent Secretary Julius Shawer has told QTV News that recent scientific research results have revealed that once the pests have invaded a particular place or country, it takes approximately 3 years for them to be completely eliminated. Mr. Shawer has since advised farmers to be ready for such outbreaks in some parts of the country. He, however, states that the situation will not be as intense as it was because government has put in place pest control modalities. Mr. Shawer says government has already engaged stakeholders to prepare chemicals in an event of an outbreak during the coming farming season. Last year, most of the country's maize fields were ravaged by the armyworms and the red locusts.
The fight against armyworms was on top of the agenda in terms of pest control. So SADC, individual countries, as individual countries working with SADC and FAO, we are actually looking into this issue. The researchers are trying to also research into where did this come from, how do we combat it once it recurs at all. But projections, remember, from the scientific angle is that once you have this pest, it can be around for 3 years. So what we are doing and preparing as a ministry is to be ready for any eventuality. We are not going to let the situation just, blow out of proportion. But as we sit now, we are already engaging with our colleagues so that we have, agrochemicals ready, and really just be ready for anything. It's an issue definitely that requires very good research. How does this pest evolve? So we need to look at how did it get in, how does it spread, how do we control it? That's very critical in addressing this. So pest control is really one of our priorities to safeguard farmers.
We take our first break. Do stay tuned for more news on the other side.
Follow 3 married couples on the challenging journey of marriage life today.
I told you that I was going to go and talk to him.
Witness as they cascade through day-to-day issues in a home.
And just where do you think you're going?
Don't miss Shipikisha Club, Tuesdays at 20:30 on QTV. Experience home.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the QTV News at 7 p.m. We'll continue with the news. The Road Development Agency, RDA, has awarded an Italian company, CMC di Ravenna, a 4.1 billion kwacha contract for the upgrading of the 292-kilometer Kawe to Piccadilly Circus to Mukushi and the Mpula and to Mansa roads. The works will also cover 20 kilometers of urban roads in Mukushi and Kawe. Speaking during the signing ceremony, RDA Director and Chief Executive Officer Elias Mwape says it is government's intention through the Link Zambia 8000 projects to upgrade roads to bitumous standard in order to create an enabling environment to facilitate the easy movement of goods and services to and from the major farming blocks. Mr. Mwape says the move will go a long way to support the agriculture industry and boost agricultural production in the area. He notes that in addition to agriculture support, the roads will also facilitate mining activities in the area, particularly manganese. Mr. Mwape has since urged the contractor to perform to expected standards.
CMC di Ravenna, an international construction company from Italy, at a total sum of Zambian kwacha 4,109,548,170 weight. This is VAT inclusive. This is for the upgrading bituminous standard of approximately 292 kilometers of the Kawe to Piccadilly Circus to Mukushi and the Mpula to Masansa, including 20 kilometers of open roads in Mukushi and Kabwe in Central Province. Government, through the Road Development Agency, is implementing the Link Zambia 8000 program with the objective of transforming Zambia from being landlocked to being a truly land-linked country in Southern Africa. This project is part of the Link Zambia 8000 program.
And CMC Ravenna Area Manager for South Africa, Branch Andriano Donadon, has assured government of quality and high standards on the roads. Mr. Donadon says the contract will be effectively executed because of the company's vast experience on similar tasks.
We are very committed to do the project in time and in quality and in the satisfaction of our client that is here. So I think that everybody knows that CMC is one of the biggest companies in Italy, and we have worked everywhere. We have worked in Asia, we have worked in Europe, we are working in South America, we are working in North America, and we are working in a lot of countries here in Africa. So, for us, we have already some experience how to deal with the people, the client here in Africa. And as a road is the first road that we are doing here in Zambia, but we have other two projects here in Zambia. One is a project, a mining project in Chilabongwe, copper mine.
Government has reiterated its commitment to increasing investment in HIV response programs aimed at reducing the new annual HIV infections from 46,000 to less than 5,000 by 2021. In a speech read for him by Minister of Health spokesperson Dr. Kennedy Malama during the National HIV Self-Testing Dissemination Meeting in Lusaka today, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Jabin Mulwanda said reducing annual infections to 5,000 by 2021 is feasible through partnerships. More in this report.
Zambia has made substantial progress in providing access to HIV testing services which have been rolled out across the country. Between 2010 and 2011, Zambia witnessed a steady and encouraging increase with many facilities offering testing services, with the introduction of provider-initiated testing being around 50%. While HIV testing and counseling is a key entry point for treatment as prevention, approximately 40% of Zambians have never been tested, and over half of HIV-infected adults in Zambia are unaware that they are infected. Today, various stakeholders in the health sector met in Lusaka to discuss the progress made in the implementation of the HIV self-testing program. HIV Self-Testing Zambia Project Director Dr. Mtintana Luvamba shared lessons that have been learned and achievements from the program from the time it was launched in 2015.
Yeah, so 81% is actually from the community-based model, and the least number of kits were distributed through our workplace model, and that's largely because we only started distribution in this model a little under 2 months ago. Most of the individuals who obtained self-test kits had attained secondary education or had reached some level of secondary education, which is very important for the literacy aspect to make sure that they're actually able to understand the information that is given to them.
The implementation of the program has been made possible through funding and support from various organizations, which include the World Health Organization, Zambat, Society for Family Health, Unit Aid, Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, Population Services International, among others. Representing the funders and international supporters, WHO Country Representative Dr. Kastodia Mandlate commended Zambia for its progress and efforts made in enhancing HIV testing among its citizens.
For 2020, for Zambia, the 2021 National Health Strategy, and the 2030 for the SDGs. We know what needs to be done, therefore, I believe we have no reasons to fail. And finally, on behalf of WHO and on behalf of the United Nations family in Zambia and other cooperating partners, I would like to continue to pledge our support in moving Zambia to achieve the 90-90-90
Dr. Kennedy Malama, who is the Ministry of Health spokesperson, represented government and had this to say.
This occasion, colleagues, takes Zambia's HIV response to another level, in that as a country, we shall now have the much needed evidence to make an informed decision on adding another extra platform to our HIV testing and services package. This occasion, as you are aware, has been waited for quite some time. And you should be delighted, all of us, that Zambia is in fact one of the few countries which have been bold enough to do HIV self-testing as a pilot. I know for the media houses, you've always been asking Minister of Health, when are you taking this agenda forward? So it's very, very important that this landmark event today is going to inform us on how we move as a sector and as a country.
The HIV testing program is currently being implemented by the Society for Family Health in 16 health institutions in Choma, Lusaka, Kapirimposhi, and Ndola districts. It is hoped that the full implementation of this program in the next 3 years will help Zambia attain the UN aid target of 90-90-90. Nakaonga reporting for Q News in Lusaka.
Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwela has directed party officials to explain party policies government is implementing to the Zambian people. Mr. Mwela states that while government is implementing a lot of policies and projects, the public is not aware about them, hence his directive. Speaking when he welcomed the newly appointed PF Women's Chairperson, Jen Kapata, Mr. Mwela says it is important for the people of Zambia to know and understand what the Patriotic Front is doing to improve their livelihoods. Mr. Mwela says the PF government is fulfilling all the promises it made to the Zambian people prior to the 2016 elections that need to be explained. And Mr. Mwela has advised Ms. Kapata to work hard, saying the Patriotic Front has no time to waste. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwela has advised all committee members in the habit of issuing statements to air their grievances to wait for the Central Committee meeting, which is scheduled to take place this Saturday.
National Chairperson n'abalanda okutira turefayo mutende abo abashirefayo mutende lwabo bali kitali voko article 31 ushire umfwani kama bali abalefayo mutende abalefayo mutende nangula chibote bene bakaele ichi chalo chaikala 52-53 years now kuno mutende turefu atutwadilile no mutende mulebeba bale yakona kuma chechi abeba kwa linda kasonde mule yakona ku chechi bantu benanga tabachitire believe muli peace ifwe turefu ayo mutende kwa bulo mutende tetukube development.
And speaking at the same event, PF Women's Chairperson Jen Kapata has demanded for 50% women representation in decision making. Ms. Kapata says she will soon start identifying women candidates who can be adopted for the 2021 general election.
I'm alive to the fact that the task ahead of me is enormous, but I believe that through hard work and your support as women who have come to support me today, we can achieve our goals and make our party even stronger. Before I conclude, yesterday I had a meeting with the Secretary General, and the provincial chairperson for Lusaka province is requesting me to buy vehicles, and that's as though you knew what we discussed yesterday. We are going to buy 10 vehicles for all the 10 provinces. And we'll make sure that each province receives a vehicle so that your works can be seen. I'm sure you are aware that in this country, women are more than men. Yes. We constitute 8% of the Zambia's population are women. Yes. The rest, the 42% is the youth and men. So women are more. And therefore, as women, if we hold our hands together and work together, we shall deliver President Edgar Chagwa Lungu in 2021.
We take another break. The news continues on the other side.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Cece.
QTV brings to your home a new program that will change the way information is disseminated.
A show like no other that aims to inform you.
Hold up, wait, we did it again. Beat German in a game. They never saw it coming, then we wiped them like a hurricane.
Educate you.
Today's topic, here I'm looking at a cell. Know that Jake brought you, but I mean it by yourself, which is a basic function of the living organ.
Motivate and inspire you.
The Base, Saturdays, 15 hours. Don't miss.
It's a Saturday, the only time your TV set comes on live.
Thank you for staying with us. In at the news, the Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has advised government to stop intimidating the Law Association of Zambia, LAZ, for giving its opinion on the declaration of the threatened state of public emergency. UPND spokesperson Charles Kakoma says government should not be hostile towards LAZ, as the association is merely engaging it on the regulations it intends to enforce under the Preservation of the Public Security Act. Mr. Kakoma states that the major interest of the Law Association of Zambia is to ensure that the laws of the country are adhered to and fairly enforced. He says government should therefore heed to the association's advice. Mr. Kakoma states that disregarding the association's timely advice will be a violation of the Republican Constitution.
In the last few days, we've had statements from government that are condemning the Law Association of Zambia. And we believe as UPND that those statements are heavy-handed and are meant to intimidate the Law Association of Zambia. What the LAZ has done is merely to express their opinion on what they think is the position regarding the threatened state of emergency and the possibility of either extending it or not. And their opinion is that under that section, under Section 31, where it has been declared, there is no provision to extend the state of emergency. We do not know why the government is unhappy about that position, because we've seen that the President himself and the Minister of Information have issued statements that are more or less intimidating the Law Association of Zambia. And as the UPND, we condemn that.
Opposition Movement for National Transformation, MNT President Daniel Shimunza, has noted the need to reform the entire Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, for the sake of the country's democracy. Mr. Shimunza notes that the divisions of the country are as a result of the manner the Commission conducted the 2016 elections. He says though the country has a duly elected president, the question of legitimacy has brought divisions. Mr. Shimunza says until the ECZ is reformed, electoral-related disputes will continue. Mr. Shimunza states that it is high time government considers reforming the electoral body.
And so the maturity with which we handle elections as a nation, 23 years after independence, we need to modernize the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We need to capacitate the Electoral Commission of Zambia. And all stakeholders must be involved in the processes that have to do with the electoral process. If the Zambian democracy does not mature to a level where we are able to handle elections well, this is why the ensuing problems that we are seeing now, okay? And there's a silence. The Electoral Commission of Zambia is like a silent killer, okay? Look at what has happened. After the elections, the nation has gone into a divided scenario and a challenge. And yet the Election Commission is quiet, okay? So it's like a silent killer. What we need now is to reform the electoral process of this country, because democracy is about three things. It's the evolution of government by the people, of the people, by the people, which is the electoral process, and then for the people, which is the economic benefits and advantages that must accrue to the governed by the governed. So if we don't correct the electoral process, we are going to have the same problems that we are having now. So this is the time that we need all stakeholders, all opposition political parties, civic organizations must come on board and begin to address the issue of our electoral process. And going beyond now to 2021, we need reformation insofar as the electoral process is concerned.
The Local Government Service Commissions has encouraged local government workers to work within the perimeters that will enhance service delivery to the Zambian people. Commission Chairperson Amos Musonda tells Q News that the Commission wants to do away with the norm that there is a poor work attitude in local authorities. Mr. Musonda states that it is for this reason that the Local Government Service Commission is placing people with the right qualifications in the right positions. He says the Commission has since aligned staff in the Northern Province and stirred up chances at principal officer level in order to create a mindset platform that discourages laziness in the local government. Mr. Msonda has warned that those who will be seen to be exhibiting resistance and do not want to toil the line of the government of the day will be retired in public interest.
In local government service is placing people with the right qualifications in the right positions. So we've been to Luapula province. We have aligned all the staff in that province. We made changes at principal officer level, and we continue doing that. The whole idea is to create a mindset platform so that we depart from the norm, the non-norm to say that there is lethargy, there is poor attitude towards work in local authorities across the country. So that has been our message to all our staff, that they have to work within the parameters that are going to promote service delivery to our people throughout the country. And that is the message through and through. We are aware that for those that are exhibiting resistance, for those that don't want to toe the line of the government of the day, I'm sure there are avenues. And if they don't want to change, we have no choice but to retire them in national interest.
Former Lusaka Mayor Mulenga Sata has observed the need for all markets around the country to be revisited. Details of the story coming up after the break.
QTV brings to you a show taking you on an exciting roller coaster as you meet remarkable people from all walks of life, sharing their extraordinary life stories, arts, entertainment, lifestyle. Join Marvelous, Sipokazi, Lucia and Kirsty on the new and exciting magazine show, 54.
The news continues. Former Lusaka Mayor Mulenga Sata has observed the need for all markets around the country to be revised in order to ensure that adequate measures are put in place to safeguard people's properties rather than waiting for a disaster to happen. Mr. Sata, who is a civil engineer by profession, says some of these fires being experienced in the country may not be arson cases, but as a result of infrastructure not having adequate protection against fires. He says there is need for markets being constructed around the country to have adequate protection against disasters such as floods and fires. Mr. Saturn notes that with the change in weather patterns due to climate conditions, disasters are bound to happen that might lead to the loss of goods and property. He adds that during the time he served as Lusaka mayor, he had observed that markets in the city were not protected against disasters such as fire.
Speaking as a former mayor, it was an observation that we had made that we didn't have adequate protection against fire in these markets. You will recall that last year there was an incident at Lubema Market, and there was no hint that this was anything to do with arson. So I think that it's important that we revisit all our markets and ensure that adequate measures are taken to safeguard the goods and property of people that is in these markets. Because these fires, especially in the winter now, where people are using braziers and wood fires in the markets, it's any we can have other disasters developing and stuff or happening. Speaking as a former mayor.
The Professional Teachers Union of Zambia, PROTUZ, has advised Higher Education Minister Nkanduluo to engage university students on the feasibility of student unions before any idea of abolishing them is considered. PROTUZ General Secretary Kangwam Senge has told Q News that plans by the minister to scrap off student unions in the country's colleges and universities will not resolve the challenges being faced by these institutions. Mr. Msenge states that students equally have the right to association, and he adds that students' unions are serious partners and stakeholders in the development of the education system. Mr. Msenge says the Labour movement is seriously opposed to the scrapping off of student unions.
It's not going to resolve a number of issues the students are facing in these institutions. Our appeal still remains that the Labour movement, in particular, must defend the rights of the students. They have a right of assembly, a right of association, and we believe the minister is kind enough to entertain a number of suggestions which is going to make the unions live on. They are serious partners and stakeholders in the development of the education system at those institutional levels, at college and university. We will suggest to meet the minister very soon and give further suggestions, but we are seriously opposed to the scrapping of the students' bodies, which is the unions.
A recap of the headlines. First Republican President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda has been admitted to the University Teaching Hospital, UTH. Government has cautioned the media to be careful in its reporting during the period of the threatened state of public emergency. A look at what is happening around the world in international news. A court in Thailand has found a former general guilty of human trafficking at a landmark trial in Bangkok. Manas Kongpang is among more than 40 people convicted in the trafficking of Bangladeshis and Rohingya Muslims, a persecuted minority fleeing Myanmar. More than 100 defendants are on trial on charges including trafficking, kidnapping, and murder. Muslim Rohingya has been fleeing Myanmar for years, paying people smugglers to help them escape. The general was arrested in June 2015, was seen as a part of an effort by Thailand to close down a human smuggling route through the country. The judge found him guilty of human trafficking and organized transnational crime. He and the other defendants found guilty have yet to be sentenced. A prominent critic of South Africa's President Jacob Zuma will receive police protection after she received death threats, local media reports. Parliament and the police carried out a security assessment which confirmed that a threat existed against Makosi Khoza, a governing African National Congress MP. Parliament said in a statement. Ms. Khoza has called on Mr. Zuma to step down, accusing him of being a disgraceful leader who has been dogged by corruption allegations. Mr. Zuma denies any wrongdoing, and there is no suggestion that he is linked to the death threats. That's all we had for you in the news at 7 p.m. The next bulletin is at 10 p.m. You can visit our website www.qtvzambia.com for more news. My name is Chitalu Chinsenge on behalf of the entire news crew and production. Good night, God bless, and pleasant viewing.